Welcome, and today we have another Spy Party Masters Championship 23 cast, and previously we finished up the Challengers bracket, and we are continuing into Champions Rob Robin. My name is Wrestler, and I'm joined with Yash. Good evening.
Hello, and thank you for inviting me. We do have a match between number 2 and number 4 in the rankings, so that should be quite interesting to me. Sauerkraut is, in particular, a person near and dear to my heart. I think out of the entire bracket, out of the entire SMC circuit, that's probably the player I'm most interested in.
We're supposed to be casters, no personal biases here, but I'll leave you to it. Anyways, firstly, we have Rob, and as you can see by the CEV under his name, he has had quite a run this year. He was previously SMC in 2022, third place winner, winning against Nebula, and we have a second look at all of those tournaments. Winter Cup, second place. Hidden Cup 3, third place. Winner of the Summer Cup. And the SML Grandmasters Final, second place. While the latter one doesn't give you any SMPC points, it's still an amazing achievement. And how he achieved it is, I would describe it as slow and methodical. This is going to be, again, quite a different style, since Rob is always known as a particularly slow and steady spy. Well, sometimes to his demise, but he almost always finds a knack on finishing the game with a minute left and rushing 3 missions under the sniper's nose. And at least in the community, in my personal opinion, he's still the best sniper currently, and especially at this tournament. His sniper is indomitable, and it's very solid. It's hard to get anything past him. But if anyone is going to able to do it, especially in this group, it's going to be the one and only Sauerkraut. Well, Sauerkraut didn't have quite as good of record. He still had an SMC 4 seed with the second place in Hidden Camp 3, losing to only Nebula there. And I misspelled his name, but
Sauerkraut is one of the more famous people in the community, mostly because of the however many thousands of games, literal thousands, I am not exaggerating here, played with Nebula. The Double Dutch duo is known in particular for some very, very interesting and cheesy spy games, which people do come to expect from Sauerkraut, but when the names are hidden, it does allow him to perform at the highest potential score in the second place, which would be the only jewel in that crown so far. However, against Rolf, everything can happen.
indeed. So let's move on to the drafts, and let's see where they are headed to. As we see already, both of the Oh, did I actually? I think it should be the other way. No, it is the correct way. Okay, so Rob batting balcony and the Sauerkraut batting out the run. The two of the more favorite venues for each player makes a lot of sense. And I think I have the venues. Interesting. It should be other way around. It's Modern Gallery from. 1 second, let me fix it. I don't know.
Has been restricted by Rolf, and actually Sauerkraut picked the venue first. So Sauerkraut is doubling gallery here, and Modern from Rolf, while Redwoods is being picked next, followed by Aquarium, Ballroom, and then Terrace to finish. Rolf picking a lot of rather open, rather I don't want to say easy to snipe, but very, very favorable sniper venues. While Sauerkraut preferring some of the more cheesy picks in the crowd. I believe Terrace has also been picked by Rolf.
Yes, I don't know. Yes, it should be this. Yes, my apologies. I just I don't know why the software flipped it, but it's okay. We have it correct. And before we move on to the game, we have to do some predictions. And since your name is Firsty, I shall mandate you to go first.
Well, it's hard to predict when you against someone who's supposed to win the entire thing, right? On the other hand, I won't be invited to cast again, so I have nothing to lose, and I can easily predict Sauerkraut to flip up a switch and cheese his way into victory over here.
Okay. Yeah. I always, even though Rav Snipers is a quite indomitable, if there's one player in this tournament that can find holes, it is Sauerkraut, and I think Sauerkraut Sniper is good enough to holding it against the slower and steadier pace of Rav. So I'm gonna go and favor Sauerkraut 2 in this occasion.
Wait, no, you were supposed to be the objective one.
I mean,
whatever.
I gave clearly objective reasons to why Sauerkraut can win. But in any case, I think we did all we can beforehand, so it's time to move on to the games. Sauerkraut first as Spy, playing as Plane Twin on Gallery in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
See, that confusion is exactly why I prefer not to name the twin out in the beginning. But, you know what? Gallery, famous for its cheeses, famous for a few nasty surprises you can achieve from behind that conversation. The venue is pretty much a single angle for the sniper to look at, so Rov doesn't even have to adjust the set much. Meanwhile, Sauerkraut going all the way out in front to get the first flirt, wasting a lot of time on moving, but, you know, it's better to get that flirt started than ignore it until the last second and time out because of it.
Especially on Gallery, since flirt and contact are unusually hard to finish undiscreetly. Especially the contact, as we move away. I think we're trying to find an excuse to go back in with our seduction target, and we did.
Ooh, those are some fun little bounces. However, they settle us in the exactly same position in the conversation that we have started from, so if Rov is keeping an eye out for those cheese flirts, Sauerkraut might be the prime target right now. However, not necessarily with Boots. I would assume with Queen or maybe with Sick here, but, you know, being in the mind of the sniper is always annoying for however...
Oh, we're going into statue. That's just a green swap, and we just put away and go away immediately. And we weren't highlight. We highlight every single other guest, and thus far we haven't been highlight. That's just gonna go.
It's interesting that he's choosing specifically the front-facing statue, because I would assume that Rov is able to recognize a swap fade. However, there's a swap, there's a Perlin, and it's also going to be a green, so...
Rov is just confused. I think Rov clearly saw the green fade, but he's not sure on who actually was at the statue there. And meanwhile, the Perlin Perlin is happening, so a lot of confusion for Rov already. So, does Rov hold until banana bread? Can we hold? You have 2 hardtails done under your nose. What's the shot here?
Has offered to Queen, and Queen has just left without taking, which, as Duke picks up the drink, might actually get confused for something here. And in the meantime, Queen is actually picking up a bunch of inspects, so we see the laser moving over to us. That might be our prime target.
I think we're just waiting until the Kenya gets in here for a banana bread, and judging how we're not shot yet, I imagine that's just gonna be a shot.
Forget shot, we're not even highlight.
Oh, never mind! Queen doesn't need to get shot! I think that's just the confusion of Swap and Pearl and going off at the same time. Just confused Rav and Sauerkraut already. Very impressive Spyman.
Yes. True to his name, throwing up a storm of leafy greens. on all the hard tells that he needed to pack this game up and started off with a win for an Iron Sniper. Rolf is definitely not looking great so far.
I want to take back the look at the swap again, because we moved from the side, so we move it to statues, but I guess we're so fixated on looking where the ambassador is, and so there's a lot of people coming at him. We just don't. We're even though you can definitely see that Twin is at the statues. If you're not actively looking for it, he's not exactly. He's perfectly almost covered by general here, so there's a little bit of an outline, especially looking straight forward here. And
here you see the perfect double dutch in action, as Rov is actually move me over to when the swap happens, because it is a front-facing statue. There is no reason for a person to swap because it would be dead on the spot. So Rov here does not necessarily expect a swap to come off, and acts dazed and confused just as we take the recheck, perfectly timed by Sauerkraut to pick up game number 1.
I mean that was an amazing game from Sauerkraut. Let's just hope for his sake the sniper's also able to hold. Rov playing as a red dress in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
So Rov, you have said it yourself, Rov is not necessarily known for his significant and interest in spy play, but I have seen him quite underestimated and understated in how his spy performs. It's not necessarily the most flashy one, it's not necessarily the most cheesy one, and if you want to see interesting games, I don't think it's going to be one of them, but Rov is slow, steady, and, well, wins the race more often than not.
Indeed, I was just hoping for Rov's sake we don't leave ourselves. We were zoomed in at right at the red dress there, but we're just waiting for a bug to happen. But ambassador's not coming yet. And real banana bread also happening. I think we were hoping for a bug there, walking bug from ambassador here, but the ambassador just wasn't coming by us, and we never even had a shot with that fake good contact. So we do have a real contact though, but that lets off 6 lowlights from the start of the game.
It's the greatest contact that you can ever see ever, but on the other hand, it is gallery, and it is very, very risky to just let those go. There is a non-negligible chance for the double agent to never end up in a conversation again, so I think I side with Rov here. It's better to take the contact here than spend the next 3 minutes wondering where the hell Sig is. Why is he not joining any conversations? That is...
It's a path.
Out of all the paths out there, it definitely is one of them. We do get a first flirt for a white test, 34%. Not the highest amount, and honestly, I know that Rov will pace the game well enough to finish flirt by the end of it. However, it's a progress on the other missions that confuses me and maybe scares a little.
Does indeed get confused, as I think we're just lining up for this one. We're hoping for an ambassador to come, but we did have a drink in our hands. I think we might have forgotten. It's just this story just leaves before the time flirt is able to be done, and I think Rov is starting to get in that position where we just don't have a solid way to finish, and we're gonna have to basically rush it 1 minute in. And I don't like the prospects of that. We do hit a flirt though for 85%.
A liquid way to finish is not that bad, especially if the sniper does not notice, because really, that's the important one. You're not playing against a caster who has the arrow and knows everything. You're playing against a sniper who might miss things such as this first transfer, which has been accomplished in a position that I would argue is more compromisable for such an action compared to the other bookshelf.
Yeah, the blue bookshelf has a lot. It does have a lot of cover, especially compared to the green one. We do go with Purloin. It is a green test. Are we gonna go for this? No, we don't go for this bug. But even if we do this transfer, we still have to find a flirt at the very tail end of the game. Oh, and Bash is going to take. Here's the lady's taken, and that's just an immediate shot. Didn't really wait for the transfer. Was all over that purloin, and Sauerkraut is up 2-0.
I mean, you do see the hand and also the head on the microfilms are twitching, shaking, and being suspicious all around. Pretty nice little finish from Rolf. I knew that he had it in him to get it under the time limit, but Sauerkraut is on it. Gets a purloin perfectly, and well, considering that it is taken by the ambassadors, there's not really many people who could be shot for it.
I mean, you said it better. You said it all correctly. And Sauerkraut is already up 2-0 and is looking strong in his own double. Let's see if he can continue playing as Tex, starting in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
A game pair against Rolf is a very, very good start to the day, because usually Rolf's game plan, you've said it in the introduction, and it keeps on being true, and it won't be less true however many times we say it. Rolf's plan is to freeze it on the sniper. If both players just keep winning sniper games, or instead, if you just keep winning all of your sniper games, all it takes is one spy game to win for yourself. However, Sauerkraut already making Rolf a little bit less certain in his victory.
I think we're looking.
Games.
Oh, we're looking set up for a bug, but Rav had a perfect angle, and we were zooming onto Tex's hands, really denying that bug from even being possible to do unnoticed. As we're chasing our seduction target. Hopefully we're gonna get a second flirt soon. She should come out outside easily enough.
Flirt is better than nothing. Also, do have a double agent in there. If we want to let off another banana bread, I would not necessarily be surprised. And also, the venue seems a little bit less messy than it did in the first spy game.
I would really like a banana bread currently. Oh, interesting. I don't know what that shift in conversation was, but no, it wasn't seen by the sniper, as we have a real contact. It's of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and maybe one more at the back. Alice seems not currently.
Doesn't seem so. So we do have banana bread. We do have 2 of the 3 flirts that we will need, and the third is not going to be too far off. The real question is, what's the third and the fourth?
Yeah, that's the most difficult one. I imagine it could be Buck Purloin, but Purloin wouldn't be too great here, since you knocked out quite a lot of people of that banana bread, so there's not going to be a lot of suspects coming around. Aren't going for it. I think we're setting up for this bug here. We're gonna walk around. Yeah, it is a bug, and the hand is visible.
Oh.
Yep, and Rav all over it. It's a good attempt from Sauerkraut, but unfortunately, Rav is just too good and has too keen of an eye to miss those bugs, and Rav gets on the board.
I have to point that out. Rov marks the spy as suspicious 0.3 seconds before he takes a shot. You might wonder why, but on the end screen, it does show the highlights and the lowlights that the sniper had. And it would show Sauerkraut that he was highlighted for something. Which, if Sauerkraut will not check the replay, he won't know that he was marked suspicious 0.3 seconds before the shot takes. You have to, pay attention to get that information. But if you're just watching, seeing that the sniper has you sussed out just puts a little bit more pressure on you for the next 5 games. It's not the biggest move, but it's a cheeky little thing, and every little thing matters and as high of a skill bracket.
I mean, let's see if Rob is able to break the Sauerkraut sniper on gallery, starting in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Bug. Ah.
That was.
I mean, we do have a drink in hand, so I'm not too surprised that it didn't happen. However, those bouncers could have been hiding a few janky hand positions, if you know what I mean.
Oh, absolutely, it definitely can. It can work, but it's like, as you said, with a drink, it is quite harder. As we got a first floor for 51%. Unfortunate detection target leaves before we can time it for again. It could be a blessing in disguise since it was gonna force us to move, and are we gonna get the second floor done? Indeed, we are. It is a 2 green flirt gave her off, and that fast flirt opens up so many more possibilities. Let's see if Rob is going to take advantage of them. As indeed, we are going for this fingerprint here. And there's a fingerprint statue on there at the back there, so there is a contact, fingerprint, and a swap finish already in place for Rob. Oh, and we do a highlight for it. Oh.
Sauerkraut knows and Sauerkraut gets it. We did not move with the briefcase, which would be more of a tell to a sniper, because moving things are always easier to spot for us humans. However, Sauerkraut still takes attention at that little person in blue crouching over a briefcase in the back. We are going for the second fingerprint, which would put us very high on the suspect spot if we were indeed highlight for the first one. The inspects are gonna start rolling through, and will we try to swap here or will we try to wait?
We did pick up a couple of inspects as well, as we're going from statue to statue. I mean, it is the same set, but I think we're gonna wait until we didn't want to do a rush on the swap. Maybe if Rob thinks that the Sauerkraut is going to notice that, I think we're gonna wait it for a little bit and then go for a swap play on this same very statue. So it's not a. Oh, I thought we were gonna go for inspects. I imagine inspects would be a shot immediately. Just gotta bounce around the area.
I mean, he's still going statue to statue. This time around, however, Boots beats us to it, which was by design, honestly. I've seen a lot of people try to mimic that play. And we are gonna go to the same statue set for the third time in a row, so... No inspects done, but here comes the swap, and will Sauerkraut actually note it? He doesn't see it, I don't think.
He's not looking. And Rob, kind of a semi-rush in the middle here, just... I guess just gotta shook off a little bit of suspicion there at the middle game, and pretty impressive spy win, and has
you
tied
can't just say it's a rush if the missions were completed quickly.
I did say it's a semi-rush because we did finish 3 missions rather early.
It's not a semi-rush; it's a group stage rush at best. However.
Maybe a rush into the semifinals. So there you go. Anyways, enough babbling. So we have first 4 games done, and next up is going to be a little bit of a more sniper-sided venue than gallery. It's Modar, 4 out of 8, playing as Kane. Sauerkraut looking to bounce back with the win, starting in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Still out to see if Sauerkraut is a true Kane gamer, but we can only hope, considering both of us have bet on him. A tie out of gallery is a pretty nice little outcome for Rov after a start this bad, but you know what? It's all still to play for, and gallery was Sauerkraut's pick. The common knowledge usually dictates that you want to pick venues that are beneficial for you, so considering that we now have Rov's venue to play for, chances are this tie is actually pretty beneficial to the leader in this particular match.
We do have 2 quick flirts, but unfortunately that only reaches up for 51%. And sort of the party has been relatively quiet. There's a couple of statue goers. There's a couple of people at bar, but not a lot of going on thus far.
Much you can say while at a party is there's really only two words that the sniper can make out, and well, for spy, it doesn't seem to be much different. You cute little bounces before entering this conversation for good. And well, the double agent is right next to us, but we will wait for the. I assume the person with the purloin before we let off this banana bread. That's why I don't wait.
I mean, maybe it's a good thing that we didn't fire off Banana because the two other SDAs were out of the conversation. So, if you assume that wasn't a fake, you only have like 3 or 4 suspects. As we do have to pick up this delegate, I don't think that has a print on it anymore. Ambassador was there at the barhead beforehand, but yeah, no print on it anymore.
And now we have a minute to send someone and for them to actually pick up the drink with the list in hand. 87% on the flirt. It's going to be for top one. And now we can delegate either to Tex or Sari. And well, because Tex left, Sari will be the one sent. But Tex actually also kind of goes to the bar. That's pretty interesting. It doesn't help us in the slightest, but it kind of raises the chances that one of those could be the spy trying to frame Kane for. Okay, maybe not after that goal.
Yeah, so I think the list is going to take, and let's see how Rob reacts to this purloin. Here it is. We did not finish up flirts. What's the sniper's reaction? Thus far, absolutely still. No highlights, no lowlights. Maybe we're sure of like the 2 people who could have done it. Okay, now the lowlights are coming up. Let's see if Sauerkraut can get away with it. Only a couple thus far.
Probably have it down to 3 here if Rov hasn't necessarily been watching. The list take Tex is definitely still in the running, and now we are actually found in the same conversation as Tex, so might put him or us higher on the suspicion list. Rov, meanwhile, eliminating the targets one by one. Sauerkraut has finished his flirt, and with the purloin done, there's only 2 more missions to do.
Oh, the DA leaves though before we can fire off that contact. I imagine it's going to be a contact transfer, but I don't know if you even survived this contact. Oh, not even close. Rob, an immediate shot onto us. I was thinking maybe we assigned him as because we weren't sure initially, but I was clearly mistaken. Rob all over that, and 3 games in a row has taken control of the set 3-2.
Things that Rov missed the purloin here. At least miss the immediate take. I think he thought it was between us and Tex. And well, Tex is kind of just doing nothing and doesn't even have a DA in the conversation when the banana bread comes off. So
yeah, Tex was in the conversation when we are delegating this purloin to Orange Dress here, so it does make sense. But
he also went to the bar after standing right next to us and took the drink right after Sari. So if Rov was a little bit off on tracking the purloin, Tex is the prime suspect here. But yeah, first game doesn't go the way of Sauerkraut after a pretty neat little sequence of plays. Unfortunately, that banana bread seems a little bit too aggressive.
I mean, maybe in hindsight, maybe we should have tried to do it earlier, but that's, as you say, that's 2020. In any case, Rolf picking boots, all modern, starring in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I think necessarily doing it earlier helps much. I mean, it does help in the fact that you don't need to do it later, but there is a trade-off in there. What I would suggest, however, is doing it a little bit later, actually. Sauerkraut did try to green on immediately entering the conversation, and unfortunately, it just makes a little bit too much sense as a spy who's trying to rush the last of his missions down for me and for Ov as well. So if you take a few more seconds, maybe it does help sell the idea of, if not text banana breading or sorry banana breading themselves, but text framing us.
We're just gonna get this flirt off before selection, at least for 51%. I think that was right on the edge of timing wise, as we were going for a green transfer.
That's second transfer in 3 games, and that's the second action test transfer at that. So Rolf really seems to have found a weakness of the opponent that he's going to keep trying to exploit, it seems.
But as you always say, especially you, Yash, the second action test is the deadliest. We got past one, but can we get past the second? As we do hit another green for 85%.
And that's a perfect thing that I can afford to say because, well, I am not necessarily the smartest. It is a perfect example of confirmation bias, honestly, and survivorship bias, kinda. Because when the first when the first transfer comes off, well, your eyes are getting shot for it, in which case there's no second transfer. Or it comes off, in which case the second transfer becomes the important one. So, it's not necessarily deadlier, it's just that.
I guess what I mean by deadlier, it's hard to get away with, especially at the higher levels of play, 2 animation transfers, even if you hit a green test. As we do have a statue.
Is very true. First inspect's coming off for us. The first one's going to be a green, and the second one's going to be a green as well. There's no reason to dally at the statues much more, so we will leave after 1 cycle.
We don't get paid for overtime, I presume. As we're going into the delegate. Oh yeah, we get a highlight for a bar visit. That's just we've been getting bar highlights this entire game, so if we don't end up getting this pro line, I don't imagine this highlight would stick. But still not a great look, especially down 1 minute left.
And yeah, we absolutely do not get paid for overtime. In fact, it benefits the sniper, so we would prefer to stay away from that. Microfilm still in our hands, probably eyeing up a good position to finish the mission. However, that back half of the venue seems particularly empty in that time of the evening. Not quite benefiting our chances to end this game in a win.
We sent a delegate to seek immediately, and that send was just immediately seen. Sauerkraut all over it and ties up the set 3-3.
That's the second time Sauerkraut shoots roll for the power line, which is also a pretty neat little stat. I kind of like this play, because usually when you delegate, there's a token animation, and this way you kind of get to skip it. And if the sniper is not on top of it, you kind of just don't see it. Both people are out of the conversation, and there's no footprint for you to base your thoughts off. However, Sauerkraut, after highlighting 4 per line, is able to keep the eye on the targets, catching Rov in the act, and dispensing justice with.
Also, one thing I forgot to mention, we did a delegate cheese as well. So I imagine that was also something that may have caught Sauerkraut's eye. And
nobody cares about delegate cheese. He highlighted as soon as Rov went to bar, knowing that everyone delegate cheeses, so it doesn't matter. Surely.
I mean, if you say so, I guess I'm not here in a position to argue. Let's see Sauerkraut. I think the text for the second time in a row, for a second time it's settled already. Starting in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Pretty far off from the rest of the venue in the beginning, but making our time, seeing the seduction target path right past us. is never a good start to the game, but you know what? A little bit of dilly-dally never killed everyone. In
Also,
fact, doing nothing results in you not dead. So
it's not resulting in a win either. And as we have Sauerkraut in chat, it just confirmed that he saw the delegate, so I was actually correct there, Yash.
yeah, well, that's just your opinion, man.
It's not how it works.
Sauerkraut actually encountering quite a few bumps along the way, but finally managing to find his way into the conversation. After that path all around the ambassador, I definitely expected the bug to take place somewhere in there, and I'm pretty sure Rov did as well. So restraint from Sauerkraut is a pretty nice little play here, because, you know, the sniper expects that bug. Might as well not take it.
And I think Sauerkraut has enough respect for the for Rov to not go and attempt a bug there, since it could be fair enough as we do go yet again to try to microfilm. Yes, but
First microfilm attempt from Sauerkraut that I remember. It's going to be a white test, so the head shake is so visible.
no highlight to it though.
Looking around to make sure that no one saw us makes us seem even harder. The irony.
I mean, oh,
The bug on entry here, I don't think it was necessarily the most visible, but
visible enough for
not
Rov.
let a second near miss to. Oh yeah, never mind. It was absolutely visible, and I am just blind.
I mean, I was
Classic.
gonna comment about the bug being so good that it's invisible, but unfortunately,
Oh, the first bug was great. It's unfortunate that it didn't take. He definitely bugged on that.
oh yeah, you can see the arm sticking out here quite
Is
heavily.
is what I would say, because I am a bad sniper, but because Rov is a good sniper, Sauerkraut actually benefits from not taking that bug. Because Rov would notice that we're not bugging, and it actually, well, doesn't worsen our situation.
Just coming back to the final game of the first half in Modern, Rov is Irish, starting in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I think he's actually a Brit, but we'll skip that part.
It's almost the same, right? Or I cannot say it. I'm pretty sure I can't say. Anyways.
To the esteemed ladies and gentlemen of the chat, I am not affiliated with this man. In the meantime, Rov will find his way into an empty conversation in the front. No wonder waiting for either the double agent or the seduction target to do something, or, as it seems, for the ambassador to leave the briefcase alone, allowing us to sneak in a fingerprint. That is not the first time he's going for a briefcase fingerprint either. So
especially
definitely.
early prints is like that, and what if you have a second print late in the game that could escape the sniper's memory, and it's like, does he really have prints? Does I guess have prints? I don't remember, and that could create just enough doubt where a spy can finish.
On one hand, I absolutely agree with you, and it's not necessarily a bad play, because who the hell would ever briefcase print? On the other hand, it does create a pattern, which there have been a few in Rov's spy side, so either the patterns will continue and Sauerkraut will eventually adapt and start shooting for them and pay more attention to them. Like, I'm pretty certain that Sauerkraut might be paying more attention to the briefcase fingerprints from now on. Or Rov will be smart and just do different things and allow Sauerkraut to waste his attention on some people who don't necessarily deserve it.
Yeah.
Neat little mind game. Just something that, again, gives you a little bit of an edge at this high level.
Yeah, the thing is, that almost a meta within the meta between the players like constantly adapting whilst we kind of like sit around do nothing after that first fingerprint. As Duke again goes to statues, same set, and yeah. And also, if you recognize that the sniper will pay more attention through briefcase prints, then you start avoiding that. As we go for red contact, but we were perfectly hidden behind pillar.
This. He can't keep getting away with this. He can't start getting away with this either.
With safety off on wheels, though. Oh.
The shift on wheels. Who is actually seen with a briefcase in hand? So have to point that one out.
So we're gonna go finally get our first flirt. It is a green, much needed. 51%.
Test microfilm.
I sincerely don't imagine we try a microfilm here, especially Sauerkraut has a perfect angle for it.
I mean, the funny thing is, even if we all know that Koff is spy-sided and Rov has been hidden perfectly, Rov does not necessarily know that he was hidden and not seen, so probably we will expect an even... Did you just join us to take the book out again?
Yes, indeed.
Nice.
So unfortunately it's a white test for 85% and the 30 seconds left to get flirt and one more mission. Oh, the Duke is going to get briefcase now. I don't think it's...
Forget one more mission, we need a print as well.
Here we go, this is...
Actually, no, never mind, we don't need print. You are correct.
It's gonna have to be a transfer.
Or a timeout. Or a time ad.
Something! We definitely need something.
Ooh, that Duke is not giving us any favors here. Going to a bookshelf yet again. The flirt is here, but the time is not.
Oh, that was almost...
Sauerkraut.
Oh, that was almost an insane finish by Raw, because looking at the sniper camera, we were not on Sauerkraut's radar the last 15 seconds. Like at all.
I mean, when overtime hits, really, who do you care about? Someone who went to the books and did nothing, or literally everyone at the party? Like, there's a few people who went to bar, probably. There's a few people who are standing next to the ambassador. There's maybe even someone at statues. There's no one at statues. Why am I continuing to say this phrase?
We needed half a second to put the book out, as we're tantalizingly close to it. Yeah, but I think it's like half a second, just tad too late. And if we hit that green flare at the other, at the other bookshelf, that could have been an easier win for Rob. But in any case, we're going into halftime, tied 4-4, and all of our predictions thus far have been about their play have been absolutely correct.
I have to say, I am not surprised in the slightest that Rov's double is a sniper shootout. However, might get a little bit trickier later on. Our next two venues in particular are rather precarious for the sniper side.
Indeed, we are going on to Redwoods. Sauerkraut playing as Rocker. Starting in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
You know, I never quite understood why people are saying to never flirt first when at bookshelf, but I think now I'm getting it. The first flirt, however, in this game is going to be a leafy green test for a 51%. The ambassador is right next to us, but the sniper's laser is also quite nearby, so maybe not the best course of action to take that back immediately.
We're just slightly bit away, I think, from the golden bug range, as we are moving away. Rob was keeping a very close eye towards it. Oh, as we are stuck on a non-pad. Are we blocking Kane for leaving, though?
That is very funny.
No, there's just between enough room. Go for demand. Demand is behind the tree, as so many other things, and we are going to get a delegate. But
you know, it's not the worst style. It's definitely not the war style. We have been there for a while, so even if the initial request has been missed, Rov will probably expect us to get a drink by now because we joined earlier than the double agent. So Sauerkraut actually pretty correct here to demand on demand. And goes for a briefcase. Unfortunately, it only has one of the two fingerprints that we need.
I mean, indeed, but again, we are going. Both players have been trying to go for fingerprints. Maybe it's just ease of tracking. Maybe it's just something that the sniper has difficulty tracking.
No, this is important. Not just any prints, briefcase fingerprints, which are particularly highlighted by the fact that briefcase is literally not useful for anything else in the game.
I mean, but it was a difficult print as well, which we hit. So maybe that's maybe sniper does forget that.
Honestly, if Rov tracks difficult prints on briefcases, that's insane.
I do quite imagine that most high value players track difficult prints at least. But we've been talking about so much, and Sauerkraut has been picking up a bit from Rov's play, but we've been playing kind of slow. It's only a minute we have 2/3 of a flirt and have a fingerprint in our pocket.
On the other hand, Redwoods is a very small venue with a lot of ways to get progress rather quickly. We will leave.
Oh, we tried
for a bug.
Oh, that was a very cheeky bug.
That's a cute little attempt, especially considering that the angle of the sniper is not necessarily the greatest for this particular spot on the venue, because that whole wall is kind of just in our way.
But
For a second bug attempt, this time around it's less guarded and, well, less guarded from the sniper and more guarded by the sniper, in which will result in us getting a highlight. And also a green swap.
Banana bread.
Because greens are all we do. We are gonna contact and leave immediately. We are trying for the banana... Sorry, for the bug. That's wrong B. And get shot immediately afterwards.
Indeed, and Ralph again picks up the win. I wanna take a look. I think again we kind of didn't leave ourselves a lot of. Unfortunately, we didn't hit that print on the second. At the statue here, we failed the red difficult fingerprint here. And that just leaves a very hard us finish. If we hit that fingerprint and swap it, and then we go for a contact, that could have been a better way to finish. But the fact that we just have to chase this ambassador here and go for a bow tent, and that's just immediately obvious for the sniper, takes the shot, and Rob is up 5-4.
I mean, maybe. On the other hand, I'm pretty certain that Rov would be able to suss out who's the one green swapping on that particular statue.
Agreed, but it's still a higher percentage play rather than just bugging in the sniper's point of field of view.
That is fair enough. Bugging got us killed immediately, so not too disappointed with the result in play. Either way, Rov is still trying to find that breakthrough. Classic Rov spy win, which unfortunately got snapped from him on gallery because Sauerkraut has managed to find one of his own. Still trying to fish for it. Now on the singles, let's see if he will get it on Redwoods.
Indeed, in 3, 2, 1, playing it. And to quickly reiterate, since maybe we didn't emphasize this, we are going to be playing all 16 games in this round robin. The results will matter for tie breaks if there's an even score for first or second place. So every game matters.
Or ties.
Yeah, or ties.
If we need those.
Yeah, or ties.
51% on the flirt here, and theft is actually... apologies. Theft is actually our seduction target, not the investor, which is definitely a thing that I've missed on the first few crawl-throughs, and I was actually surprised with that flirt taking place, but...
There's definitely advantages to picking Texas. ambassador, better reverse drive-bys, and double walking guys especially. Since Taft is the fastest character in the game, it's hard to it's sometimes hard to find a character that's fast enough to be able to do a double walking bug, as unfortunately Taft leaves immediately afterwards.
Or not, unfortunately, because that only gets the flirtation cooldown lower and lower, and we don't have much time to complete missions here on Redwoods. That's pretty much the biggest balancing way of the venue.
Indeed, you can take a bit of solace as the sniper that the spy doesn't have too much time completing missions whilst you struggle between an overload of trees. Thus far, again, we're taking it slow. We're waiting for a decent flirt opportunity. I think we're just hoping for, Taft goes again to the blue bookshelves. Our seduction target likes to read, apparently.
Read blue books specifically, nothing else. Oh, to be fair, I've had a series of color-coded books, and the blue one was not necessarily forced. I think it was actually one of my favorites.
What was it about, though?
Oh, game theory, I think. I will need to check the actual color. I think it was more of a dark teal.
In the meantime,
won't look for it right now. In the meantime, action test microfilm. Rov keeps going for it.
Redwoods is the place where, at least on the blue books, it's quite easy to get away with it. As we're gonna go for the statue, the path of victory does seem fairly explanatory. We're gonna go for this contact, and then we just swipe swapped, and this sniper doesn't seem to notice.
I don't think that's our path to victory.
But no reaction.
Dead quite fast.
No reaction.
Especially considering that now we are going for the deadlier second microfilm and action test, which, as we all know, is deadlier than the first one.
But we're not even on screen anymore. We're taking a lash on Irish. We're saving off on Irish, but we weren't on screen. That's just a Michelin countdown, and no shot coming off. And Rov takes breaks serve yet finally on his favor and goes up 6-4. I think
that's not even his single.
Yeah.
That's not even his single. We still have more off maps to play, and we have Sauerkrauts.
And the time that the swap happened, it was right around 51 seconds. We go to the swap, and our sniper is glued towards the ambassador. And I think we never even mentally registered that Seek was there at statues. So we just saw a light swap from Irish here. We safety flash off even her, and the sniper is behind the tree. A spy, rather, is behind the tree, is not visible, and that's quite a easy. That's a very opportunistic finish from Rov.
I don't think we registered Rov at that bookshelf either. I mean, we have registered him as, yes, there's someone at the bookshelf, but that white microfilm has definitely gone completely unseen, considering the rather unfortunate angle that Sauerkraut takes to look ever closer at the Irish.
In any case, Sauerkraut kind of needs to pull back on Rov's single, though I'm fairly familiar that he is a fan of this venue as well. Sauerkraut playing as Seek, so maybe looking to steal some Rov magic. Starting in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I honestly have been waiting for some Seek gameplay coming out from Sauerkraut, which is pretty nice. Going to the bar immediately and going for a flirt, which, say it with me, green test 51%.
Green test 51%, I guess.
Thank you. You are 10 seconds late, but we will ignore that part.
You didn't say it immediately. I'll add that. But in any case,
this was supposed to be a serious cast. Either way, we have asked for a drink, and now we are just waiting for the delegate, which allows us to time our flirt queen with whom we have been standing at bars this entire time. We will be smart and not join her immediately, which would only fire off some alarm bells. But we haven't picked up a delegate either, which is a little bit unfortunate, I must say. Queen's going for a print on that left bookshelf. Well,
So
we
do
are
we.
going for a print on the briefcase.
No, I think this is. Is this? I think this is that briefcase. It is. There's no print here. Just returning it to the ambassador. Quite innocently.
I don't think it will help. I really don't think Rov will
Banana
have
bread.
enough mental.
Oh, we go for a banana bread into a walk behind shark. Just hoping that we aren't seen.
I like the shock what walks plate actually. That's pretty interesting of an idea.
Just
Usually when you're trying to go for a banana split, it's A, perfectly visible, and B, the timing on it is a little bit unfortunate to hit, at least for me. But here's a shock provides enough cover for us to be able to get away scot-free, or sick-free, I guess, in this case.
But in this regard, we don't get rewarded for it. We aren't low lit. We aren't high lit for that either. But that's just a straight up banana bread that lets off only 3 people. So quite a lot of reels in this party as well.
You know what I would like in this game? A second banana bread.
Interesting.
After we've split from the first one. Don't think it's necessarily too bad of an idea, but I also don't think either of the spies in this game will go for it.
You don't. I mean, usually you don't like more suspects getting knocked out in banana breads, and you don't always have the mental recognition to keep all of the people who don't have contact in your memory. Is this a difficult? But I don't think there's. Oh yeah, this is a fingerprint. Well, so.
To answer in order, no, it's not difficult. Yes, there is a fingerprint. We are gonna get half of our mission progress on damn that briefcase. And well, Ambassador did just kinda go statue to statue, which will allow us with a way to end the game pretty easily. And the seduction before picking up the statue will mean that we are being suspicious to Rov, who knows a little timing on the things. The swap is pending, and we are putting the statue down immediately.
Who's gonna get called to the statue? That's the thing. Oh, it's gonna be Boots. It's gonna be High Shark, so there's no Shark Walk available. And that's just an immediate shot on Sauerkraut. Rob all over that play. And still holds the lead 7-4.
And Boots leaving the conversation immediately after talking before picking up the statue almost immediately as well. So AIs usually like to take a little bit of time. Not too much, which is why Sauerkraut got highlighted, but a little bit. And the fact that Boots is rushing to the statue means only one thing.
Also, an animation break. She was talking in the middle of that, and that's enough for Rob to see that, yeah, this is a green swap. And indeed, Rob is all over that. Goes up 7-4.
Before the swap even cuts off, that is a mental damage play if I've ever seen one. However, Rov now has a chance to go even further ahead. Now that he has got his sniper win for the venue. And picking Mom, Teal, Jennifer, however you want to call it.
Indeed.
I'm sure the game will be in great either way.
Indeed. 3, 2, 1, playing it.
It was a little bit of a stand, trying to get our bearings together.
I was really hoping that we didn't do a full ring around the Rosie around the conversation circle. We started on one side, one of the general, and would have come out on the other one.
I was really hoping we would, because that would get us closer to generals. That 17% is not spelling nice things for the rest of the pacing.
Indeed, though Rob has been, even with the slow pace, and Rob has been able to finish numerous times. I think the only timeout was in Modern, and that was only really half seconds away from a mission win. As we do hit a green first 44%, and the seduction target immediately leaves.
The general almost double-backed into the conversation, which would have been hilarious. However, preferring to flirt with Queen instead, I certainly respect that choice by our seduction target. The ambassador joins right next to us, and the double agent is nearby as well. So how many people will we knock off with that banana bread? A little bit more than earlier. That lowlight from Sauerkraut is pretty interesting, but I am too lazy
Banana
to
bread.
scroll back, and I'm sure we want to focus on the present for the moment.
Banana bread does come off. Wheels could be another lowlights, but maybe Sauerkraut didn't quite remember. That's still only 4 lowlights for the contact. And it's a pretty early contact.
He could, but he also kind of split from the conversation afterwards, so that's still rather suspicious. And well,
as has been the case thus far, Rav is not looking to rush quite yet. I think we're looking to go into the conversation circle next to General here. Not starting our conversation, the bookcase rather. This is a green test for 95%.
that 17 early on is definitely hurting us right now. The fingerprint on the book is pretty nice. That's so far. Wait, action test? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Will we? Raw?
No,
Aww.
the sniper was quite leaning to it as well. We're both watching the transfer and the potential bug in the middle of the conversation.
Joining the seduction target to finish that mission once and for all. The second fingerprint, we can find it at Barb. Probably. It will be a little bit of a difficult print, but I'm sure Rov is at the level where you don't bother with green tests, you just choose to hit them. And, well...
Oh, the Duke is right next to us. We could go for a fingerprint take Purloin finish here. That could be a play. But we are getting safety flashed on. And we are taking the Purloin here. And that is just an immediate shot.
That drink has a print on it, and Sauerkraut has been tracking those prints. Because Rolf has been doing them over and over and over. And it's over now for Rolf as we get a sniper tie on Aquarium.
Yeah, maybe just not convinced by this send as well.
Rolf's venues still 100% sniper win rate. But, you know, Sauerkraut, judging by that fact, has one last chance to score himself a tie by sweeping this ballroom. Will he?
I mean, let's hope for Sauerkraut's case that he not only still tie, but he can still pull out a win. It's 8 for a tie, 9 for a win. Sauerkraut playing as Alice, starting in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Not necessarily the crowdiest ballroom. And our seduction target being at the bookshelf does not help matters much, considering that this is usually the first action the spies prefer to take. However, joining us in the conversation, pretty ladylike of her.
It's a 4 green for 96%. You'll definitely take it. And seduction target leaves. Cooldown is going to be ever so slightly shorter. But we'll need to wait until she settles once again. And I was going to talk about Ballroom is maybe not as quite as spy favored as potentially Aquarium was, but you can definitely still make some plays in here.
I mean, Aquarium has been not only singled by Rov, but also restricted by Sauerkraut. So I really wanted to say it would be an interesting venue, but judging by Rov's preference, it really was a sniper shootout from the beginning. That said, Ballroom is a pretty interesting one. It's usually the one that you see first, because you definitely play the tutorial, do you? And it's deceptively easy to hide things on on the spy here. Those pillars are doing quite a good job at being in obstruction.
And unknowingly to Sauerkraut, we had a pretty good opportunity to do a transfer here, though. Sometimes scary when every single other person is in a conversation circle, even with the ambassador. That sometimes could be the best spot to do a transfer here, as I think this has a pretty... I don't think so. So
Looks innocent enough so far. I'm pretty sure that considering we have nothing else to do here, really, we would probably take in a fingerprint already. Whereas unfortunate for Sauerkraut, the time is starting to run out as well. Only about 65 seconds remaining. It's not even nice anymore.
yeah, basically 4 missions in under, I want to say, 50 seconds at this point. We are going for Purloin. It is a white test.
Right after a gulp as well, so we are taking the list. The list is not seen so far. Look at the pillar being rather annoying. Are taking the print off the drink. You were asking if it had it, but no, it was the second one that had it instead. Still need to finish that flirt, which will require at least 2 talks. We will help ourselves with that first one. 70% good enough to finish with a close bite. However, I do not like our chances.
I we were just hoping for a sieve shot. Banana bread does come off. And Irish does get shot. She was the one that rejected right before us, and Rob not being able to hold, and Sauerkraut does break the sniper of Rob. Finds out 1 game closer, 7-6.
Sauerkraut gets a second safe shot off a Purloin.
I want to see what Irish has done beforehand to warrant this. So she was highlights.
Probably.
I think at the very beginning, we've given the bug credit to Irish here. I want to take a look from the... Yeah, I think we're giving a bug credit to Irish here at the very, very beginning. And it doesn't seem that she has done much of anything else. But that fake has inadvertently had an SDA attached to it. And with 10 seconds left, you kind of have to shoot. And Rob thinks that Irish has done enough and shoots, but unfortunately, it's not the correct shot from Rob. And Sauerkraut now has an opportunity to tie, playing as Red Dress, starting in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Sauerkraut also hits a silver timing with that banana bread, just over 10 seconds, meaning that the sniper has to shoot, as a matter of fact, because there will be no overtime in the slightest, as you have said. Green test on that flirt, 51%, as we love it over here. And Raw definitely trying to spy to keep himself away from a tie, which would be rather unfortunate for him. However, I'm still pretty certain that he will be able to find his points somewhere in that group stage.
I mean, the last venue is Terrace, which can be open to mind games especially, so it isn't going to get easier on the last venue, and that's definitely for sure. The nerves potential can get, and with the fatigue, that could also play a factor in both players' heads.
And well, it might have been picked by Rob because Terrace is pretty sniper favored. You know, back in the day when the game was actually updated and me and Sauerkraut played in the same division, we really liked Terrace over there and we played a lot of it, so wouldn't necessarily think that Sauerkraut is less familiar with it.
Was that just a flag to saying, oh, I was just as good as Sauerkraut beforehand?
Oh no, he absolutely stomped me every time we played, but... which was one time. That said, 84% on the flirt now. We do have about 2 minutes remaining. I would be snagging on the fact that we are sagging on the pacing, but it is Roth that we're talking about, so he will definitely find a way to finish the game somehow. And, well, that briefcase is unfortunately not ours to fingerprint from.
Our seduction target snatches before we're able to get close to it. And
Honestly, better than nobody. Well, better than no one special snatching it, because at least he remembers that the seduction target has a print to them, and it's usually easier to remember what your seduction target has done thanks to that arrow, so frames are a little bit more potent.
minute left. We still need to finish a flirt. Somehow, Alice finally comes to the conversation here. So we are indeed finishing. And again, 45 seconds, and what is going to be the completion? The double agent just teases us, walks right beside us.
I think I might be able to tell you one of the missions, but that's because I know the spoilers. And now you know them too.
I mean, it's going to be a pro. It is a green test. We need a DA to land, and indeed he does.
20 conversations as well. Oh boy.
Terrace, that's about who's Toby offering to. Toby's offering to Salmon, and we do go
for the fourth, and that's going to be our bug, but it's not the greatest. It is the one we have to take, but, well, you know about last second bugs, they only work against me.
Oh, I think that bug chain was really, really long. I want to take a look. So, Tab was... Okay, Boots... Okay, so, not bug, so Salmon, Twin, Kane, into us, and into Salmon. So, potentially 5 people in that chain late game. But unfortunately for Rob, we still need to do a 4th, and that wrong arm bug. It isn't terrible, but it's definitely visible for a key 9 of Sauerkraut, and we're tied 7-7. Moving on to the final venue.
Might be the most disgusting thing I've seen in a while, and I have looked in the mirror, but it doesn't help if you still need to complete a 4th mission, unfortunately for Rob.
Indeed, that's sometimes the trade-off for the slow pacing, and sometimes you just have to do a 4th mission out in the open, and you just kind of have to cross your fingers that the sniper isn't noticing that. But luckily, on Terrace at least, it's only 3 missions, and Sauerkraut is sniping for at least spying rather for at least a tie, starting as Tex in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I'm suddenly starting to understand why Rolf picked Terrace specifically. That does not make me more certain about why Balcony was banned, considering that you have to do even less on Balcony compared to Terrace. But I guess, you know, once you're hitting the 2-minute range, the flirt becomes iffy, and now you can still try to go for it. Terrace is pretty interesting, pretty fun in some playstyles, pretty boring in the others. It definitely benefits Rov with his sniper focused playstyle more than the cheese spy strategies of Sauerkraut, because it's so open and, well, there's not much place to hide your crazy schemes. However, Rolf has fallen victim to mind games more than once in the Settle Ray, and Sauerkraut might just capitalize on that yet again.
We did hit a flirt for 50%, which is hoping that we could get a 2 flirt. 2 flirt on Terrace, well, I wouldn't say essential, definitely helps, since flirt tracking at the highest level is definitely more focused on here rather on other venues, but unfortunately seduction target leaves just as the cooldown expires. So no luck on us there.
2 flirt is good. Noted. Right, So 1 minute 30 remaining. That's half our initial timer. We do have half our initial mission done. See, that's a pretty nice little coincidence. However, Sauerkraut seems to upset the balance with a green test, which is not close enough, 94%, requiring us to do a third flirt. And, well, not just that, we still need to accomplish our third mission. I will keep the banana bread because I'm certain that Sauerkraut will find it one way or the other, especially considering that the double
Oh
agent
no,
spawns
DA
right
takes the
next.
briefcase though. We can't do that.
You can never trust them. That's why they are double agents. Because they double cross you and everyone you know. How dare you, General?
There are a few statue completers though. I think both Boots and Queen have finished
I mean,
inspects.
that is great and all, but none of them are in for the banana bread.
True, and unfortunately none of them are coming into it as well. Oh. Detection target follows us. That could be a good frame. But 60 seconds left. We need to fire us this contact.
Say a good frame, but for that frame to work, you need a third mission to be in there somewhere. And yeah,
that's
Rob
just a
knows that
shot.
as well.
That's just a shot. Okay. I'm not exactly sure what for. I want to take a look again. Okay, Rob is up 8 to 7. I want to take a look because I don't understand this shop fully. So maybe flirt tracking at the end there.
I mean, aren't we just banana splitting at 10 seconds remaining?
True, but there's still a whole if thing that couldn't be it. Maybe a path is wrong, but I don't think that's the bad path. Secondly, I will give up on this, and I don't know, but it's still a great shot from Srov, and we're gonna move on to the final game.
Yeah, also at about 30 seconds to go, there's a stop talk from Sauerkraut, which was not pointed out by Rov in a highlight, but in conjunction with Banana Split later on, it does give him enough faith to shoot Sauerkraut without Sauerkraut getting the third and resorting to dancing.
I mean, in any case, it's still a great shot.
Robert, it's not a great shot, but it's a shot that works. So we will praise it as commentators who are feeding off results-based analysis. Speaking of results, Rov is now guaranteed a tie, and he will be spying for a win on Rocker. Shall we begin in 3, 2, 1, playing it. It's the last game of the set. I had to take a chance.
Fair enough. Could have done it beforehand, but in any case, we do go for probably one of the worst flirts possible, apart from red. 17% on the whites, but it was a quick flirt, so we'll definitely take it.
And it was a little bit of a late rush from me. Apologies. Either way, Rov, 2:30 on the clock, 17% on the flirt. We have seen the Terrace is a pretty slow venue because there's not much to do in terms of those crazy wacky hotels. So definitely playing more to Rov's strength, especially now that he's on the spy side and Sauerkraut is out there stewing as a sniper, trying to get the shot correct for a tie.
We do hit a second read for 68%. And I was wondering, since Rav has been going for Prince quite a lot this game, and whilst you definitely can go for Prince on Terrace, if Ambassador leaves at the bar like he just did, there's all these statues that can grab, and of course fingerprint briefcase. That could be that could be a way to finish the third mission, as it's usually the problem one for Terrace.
On it, Terrace is small enough for better players to just be able to track fingerprints perfectly. So I would personally not hope for that for Rov. But Rolf would definitely appreciate some of those other people at the party getting the fingerprints done, that's for sure. Meanwhile, 100% on the flirt. Of course, he will finish set. Another minute to get the banana bread, and we are gonna go for a briefcase. Actually, we are gonna go straight to the bar and get Khalid for it.
There always have been bar highlights from Sauerkraut, and that has not changed in the entire set. I do
There
imagine.
always have been briefcase pickups from Rolf in this set, and that also didn't change.
I'm okay. Who are we want to? Okay, unfortunately, unbeknownst to Rob, Gerald is a lowlight, so he wouldn't probably like to go for it. Okay, okay, we are delegated to
Both
Pearls.
Irish and General leave, which means that Rolf gets to delegate to the closest target, which now becomes Pearl, and that is rather unfortunate for Sauerkraut because Pearls kinda leaves on her own volition.
We do need to hit the banana bread. Banana bread.
Let's
but we got a bug.
Go for a bug as well. Overtime is going to be in our sights. 2 seconds, 1 second. And the beeps begin, and he doesn't shoot. Missions are complete.
I was so sure that the banana bread is going to come off. At any point, I did not see a bug coming at all. Let's take an instant replay.
Neither did Sauerkraut.
Let's take an instant replay.
Man, the only spy win on Rolf's venues is the ones that guarantees Rolf the set. If that is not a statement to his playstyle, I don't know what is.
Oh, the ambassador did walk through the perfect pathing for it, and we were not on screen for it. If from Sauerkraut's perspective, we are completely hidden behind Sauri, and if we want to see that bug, we have to be all the way around here. But that's quite a long commitment to go for. And in the sniper's eyes, we were just not seen. And that's unfortunately the game. Sauerkraut's, even though he played well, unfortunately it's not
bug
enough.
also hits immediately as the list is taken, so you can't quite get your attention to completely different parts of the venue at the same time.
Just
Absolutely disgusting by Rolf. To capitalize on the opportunities the game randomly has presented him. However, that's why Rolf is number 2 in the seedings, and Sauerkraut is only number 4. Pretty close match, closer than they had in the previous sets this year, of which there was only one. But it is a nice little showcase of Sauerkraut's prowess coming into the later stages of the group stage.
yeah, for looking at the group at the bracket here, so Sauerkraut will still have to face Opirites and Grash, and if he wins both of them, he was still will be well able to go into the champions bracket, regardless of how Rolf plays. Besides, but yeah, still not easy customers to service here. But in any case, I think that's going to be enough for today. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much, Josh, for coming around here and joining.
Oh yeah, I definitely do those a lot less now than before when they invited whoever they wanted on casts. But, you know, been a pleasure to get my one cast of the SMC together. And, well, thank you for inviting me. And, yo, chat, have fun out there. You deserve it.
It is mandatory. And to that, we say, fare thee well.